Hey guys, so it's been a couple weeks since we put out a video, and it's mainly been because these energies have been so intense and have been a little bit different even than I think I expected. I was asking the spirit this last couple weeks, um, why I didn't get a bunch of downloads, and I just felt the spirit kind of wrap me up and say, these are great times to just be loved and allow yourself to change from the inside outside and not inside, not from the outside. And so it's kind of given me a little bit more strength and focus to just embrace these waves of energy. I'm assuming that many people watching the video have experienced the same energies that I'm talking about. Today is this is Saturday evening. The eclipse is in 2 days, so I guess that makes it the 19th today. We have great anticipation for the coming eclipse, but let me say that I have taken a little bit of a view of this, that what's actually taking place is the eclipse and all the horoscope amazing Lionsgate and all these portals and stuff that are going on are like a road sign, that it's just giving us an indication of what's to come, like, caution ahead, curve ahead, slow down, or whatever, and that the main story is the journey itself. And those who travel on that road, or us, are the sinners of the story. So sometimes we get more focused on the outer stories and forget that the inner story is really those who are in the play, and that's you, and that's me. We're walking this journey, and really this is the story of the ages. So we're all very privileged, and it's an amazing honor to be a part of this play. So it's been hard to fall asleep. For myself, I just want to explain this, and I want to just kind of describe a little bit of this. Maybe you relate to some of these things, and it might be helpful and even affirming to hear somebody else who is experiencing the same things that you are. I find a ton of energy just rushing through my body, especially in the evening when I take enough time to really focus on those energies, specifically for me and my legs. For the last 8 or 9, even 10 years, I have burning sensations in my chest, and really those just never go away. They're just always there now. It's just a constant feeling of love and of affirmation. When I connect to that, to me, this is my heart chakra. When I connect to that, I can see things and speak to the spirit just at will, and those are great. That's a great feeling, But lately in the evening, it's been a totally different thing, and my legs just make it really difficult to sleep. Just rolling around trying to find a comfortable position. It's just being so exhausted, but yet you just can hardly sleep. It takes a long time to get to sleep. But then these sensations that are coming through are like surges at times. I wonder if you've experienced that, like a surging feel that feels like it's coming up from inside of you and welling up, and it might happen to me 10 times, 12 times a day, and I can actually focus on it and actually allow it to happen even more often than that. And it might last 5 seconds or so, and then my body just shudders and shakes for another 5 or 10 seconds afterward. I realize these energies are really strong, and it's literally what's changing our lives. I believe that these energies are giving us a new platform, a new dimension that's to live out the ideals, the life that we know that we're haven't been intended to live. I wanted to parallel this with the news that's been coming out of Virginia. Terrible news and whatever, but I really deeply feel, guys, that these are just the last gasps of intolerance and bigotry. They're just suffering their final blows and gasping the final breaths. Our global consciousness is just beautiful to see, the uprising of the entire world denouncing those who we don't appreciate, and those responses to this atrocity that we do not emulate and appreciate. So what that is telling us is that much like like the whole entire human experience is here for Source to look back and say, what are we not, so that we can know what we are. It's really a beautiful example for humanity to, as painful and terrible as the atrocities are, one person's soul, gave their life to say, hey, I want to be the one who goes and says and proves to humanity what we do not, who we are not. And we are not bigots. We are loving, and we care about one another no matter what race we are, right? And so I think that I just really look at these news stories as just, man, you guys, it's just the end. It's just the very, very end. Just grasping at straws, trying to keep it alive. And really all it is just proving to us over and over again that we're love, that we're Source. And that's really all that we ever have been. But walk into this long, painful, dark journey, each time that these atrocities come up, proves to us once again what we are not. So I think that the global consciousness is rising up even stronger than it ever has. It hit the critical mass to push bigotry off the cliff for good. I'm praying for that day. I know that it's going to be seen within my lifetime. I know intuitively that these sensations, that these risings that I was telling you about, that come up within me, if I held on to them long enough, I would just ascend, and it would be the end of the third dimension for me, But for now, I come back each time. It seems like, oh, wow, and I come back each time. But then this morning, the Spirit I felt those surges, and I went to the Spirit who had said too, hey, can you hold on to that just as long as you possibly can? And I did. I held on to it for like 5 or 10 seconds. And what I felt the Spirit saying is that allow these energies to become your new reality, the new platform. That's the new ground, your new ground. We're just raising it. Just feels like it's raising me up and up and up and up. And as this becomes our new reality, that I begin to make peace with that new platform, with that new floor. And it just shakes its way down into my life and changes all kinds of different things. How I view life and how I view the news, how I view my relationships, how I view the other drivers on the road with me every day. I have more peace and more patience, and I'm not in a hurry anymore, so I am not so quick to be angry at my fellow drivers on the roads. And these are things that it has a lot less to do with resisting what's in the third dimension, and it has a lot more to do, as I'm realizing I'm grabbing onto those new sensations, it has a lot more to do with creating the new world. I hope you resonate with that and you heard that really well, because I deeply believe that that's something the Spirit's saying right now, that as we raise into these new energies, it's very important to not look back and condemn what we're leaving, but it's very, very important, critical in fact, to reach forward and begin establishing what this new world looks like. And the beautiful thing about that, I used to go to the Spirit and say, oh, hey, what are we doing? Hey, can you give me the blueprint of what we're building here? And I always feel the Spirit come back and saying, I don't know, you tell us, we're waiting for you. You tell us what we're building here, because we're behind you 100%. But you tell us. It's just so beautiful and so affirming that the role that we play here is that of creator, not the little ant that's going to go and just soldier with the rest of them and try to build something that the master has designed and created. And no, we're creating this. We're literally master planning the whole thing as well. We're part of the whole process. So as I lingered in that high resonance place, I felt the Spirit asking, hey, what are we creating? What, Michael, are your dreams? And it brought me back, this is funny, to the Star Trek holodeck. Remember that? For those of you who've been are Trekkies, and I'm not really a Trekkie, but anyway, it was an amazing place. I know Gene Roddenberry had some spiritual inspiration with this. It was a place where the crew could go to dream, and they dreamed in reality, and it was built around them as if it was a living, it was life. and I realized that that's exactly what the 3D is like. So it showed me the holodeck from Star Trek, and remember there was graphs and there was lines on the wall, and it's just really just a black room. And it said, okay, here we are. What's going on? What's up next? And it's a little like we're walking back to the Garden of Eden. I realized, there's beauty. There's like this platform of life that's there. There's plants, there's animals, there's water, there's air to breathe, there's a light wind blowing, there's the earth, and it's ready to sustain life. And then we're walking back to that garden, and the Spirit's saying, okay, guys, hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to create? You want to create a little place for you to live, or you want to build a big old palace? What are we going to do? We're going to create communities, where we can all live together. I think that these are the times we're beginning to create a whole new world. I believe that each of us has the responsibility and the freedom to create our own world. I realized for myself, I've always wanted to live like in a greenhouse, in a place where it's just lush and it's filled with plants, and that we could just walk through our house and pick fruit and eat it, and live with a greater, wider community, like a larger family, more than just 3 or 4 people, and the parents and the kids, but an extended family, and all those are like dreams, and the Spirit's like, well, let's create that, let's do that. So take all those dreams and put them together, and let's build those now, as we're holding those high dimension feelings and those surges, especially as the eclipse is coming. These are the things that I want to begin meditating on. What does world peace look like, guys? What does tolerance look like? What does a healthy view of family look like? What does a healthy view of leadership look like? What does education look like? What does parenting look like in the new world? What do we want life to look like in this new world? And those are the things that I deeply believe that if you're with us, you're going to be meditating at 11:11 Pacific time around the globe, and there'll be thousands and thousands of us meditating at the same time to create the new world. Many of us, I know others are having different focuses as they meditate, and I think just the power of meditation itself is the goal. But nevertheless, I'm feeling deeply in my heart that these are times to place before us the dream of what's coming, without looking with disdain or any disrespect of where we came from, but looking forward, right? So as we went forward, there was also another analogy that came up of humanity crawling out of the primordial soup of evolution. And it's much like what we're doing as we're crawling into the 5th dimension. I feel lungs developing within me that are preparing me for a whole new world. So it's almost like we're evolving, like this evolution took us out of the primordial soup, the oceans and water, and the first salamanders, if you will, had crawled out and began developing lungs, and they lived on the earth, the ground, more and more and more. Like, wow, that's what we're doing here as well. We're kind of like, we're evolving out of the ocean, if you will, where we've lived in the 3D all this time, and we're crawling up onto this beach, and we're like, wow, this is amazing. You can run up here, and you can move around a lot easier, and you're not stuck in 3D, and there's so many other things that we can do. I mean, it's just an analogy, but I know that we can leave our past behind in the ocean, if you will, and another thing that the Spirit said, you can hold your breath and you can go back into that 3rd dimension. And I always think about those that maybe we're going to go back and how to help them across the bridge, bring them as well to the higher dimensions. And we can do that. We can hold our breath and go back underwater and enter that world. But friends, we're not going to live there anymore. That's not our home. Our home is now in this new dimension, this new world that we're creating. It's a beautiful, beautiful place that we're creating out of our dreams. So all of your dreams, all the ones that you've maybe written down a long time ago, and maybe you've forgotten about them and given up on them because we don't really get our dreams really exactly in the 3rd dimension. That's a lie. Those dreams are coming true. Every single one of those dreams are cataloged and have been remembered, and I hope that you can remember them and bring them into fruition in this new dimension. We are co-creating this new world with the Creator, with Source, much like we did the first time when we moved to the 3rd dimension, but we've forgotten. So allow this, friends, brothers and sisters, if you're right here with me, let's allow this time to be a time to dream and truly allow your dreams to become reality. This is the time when we can forget about all of the pain and the sadness and all of the old part of life that we would have. I think the ideals of the new world that have been calling us to something greater, and it's finally here. We're finally pulling back the curtain, and we're finally walking to a new world. I'm so excited about it. So we hope to, we're going to continue to meditate and be ready for the eclipse. I hope that you are like me, are harnessing these energies and allowing them and embracing them. You know, just hold them close to you and don't be afraid, but grab onto them and allow them to change you from the inside out, and allow those dreams to become established and become your reality and your world. We're all going to live in it together. Love you guys. Thanks so much for watching.